here's why Japan is the most recent ally to support Biden. Key nations eventually increase their defense spending in response to fresh threats and a change in Washington's strategy. This Friday's meeting between President Joe Biden and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida will be a significant one that might have significant repercussions for American foreign policy in a crucial region of the world. It's also a chance for Biden to emphasize how his diplomatic efforts in the face of new geopolitical dangers are bringing friends closer together and succeeding where Donald Trump's tough-talking strategy mainly failed. After recently detailing a plan to help his nation overcome its post-war psychological and political restrictions, Kishida arrives at the White House with a plan to increase defense budget and strengthen military capabilities to not only deter assaults but also to engage enemies if necessary. It is a significant change for Japan, which has long been leery of militarization and of being involved in international conflicts. Following German Chancellor Olaf Scholz's Zeitenwende speech, Kishida recently announced his intention to increase Japan's defense spending to 2.7% of the country's GDP by 2027. Days after Russia invaded Ukraine, Scholz called the conflict a turning moment, saying it was sufficient justification to raise Berlin's defense spending to 2% of Germany's GDP and reverse decades of extreme caution about military issues after the end of the Cold War. For countries with troubled histories, both pronouncements are stunning U-turns. They follow Trump's recent attempt to intimidate allies into recommitting to their own defense. Many are acting in that manner, but under Biden's supervision. The president of the international risk assessment company the Eurasia Group, Ian Bremmer, asserted that what Kishida announced was equally important to Scholz's actions. However, he continued, Biden's leadership has made it easier for Japan to lean in because they know he's going to be there. The shift is mostly the result of the shifting security climate. Trump has actually lost ground. Just as they were, I'm not hearing Japanese leaders express as much concern about Trump's return. In preparation for the May summit he will hold in his hometown of Hiroshima, which will include a discussion on nuclear disarmament, Kishida is traveling for a week, meeting with G7 allies in Washington. Additionally, a string of scandals at home have damaged him, which will coincide with this. There will be no news conference after the bilateral meeting on Friday. Instead, the message that Biden and Kishida are most likely to deliver will take the shape of a joint communiqué highlighting a number of efforts in cybersecurity, space cooperation, and military. Walker stated that our allies in China are watching this very attentively. Whatever unified statement is released may be stronger than anything we've seen because Kishida is reversing Japan's propensity to not mention China. Former senior Pentagon counselor for East Asia Strategy and current senior director of the Sasakawa Peace Foundation in Washington, D.C., James Schorf, anticipated it may appear a little bit like a laundry list. However, I believe that the body language is more important in projecting the idea that we realize the issues ahead of us and we're in lockstep, arm in arm, striving to cope with them. In a joint statement released on Wednesday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, and their Japanese counterparts, Yoshimasa Hayashi and Yasukazu Hamada, highlighted many of the deliverables that will result from the meeting on Friday. To improve anti-ship capabilities in the case of a Chinese incursion into Taiwan, the two nations have agreed to increase the American Army presence on the island of Okinawa. They also made plans to start joint military drills in 2027, and to expand the US-Japan Security Treaty to include space. Senator Bill Hagerty, Republican Tennessee, a former American ambassador to Japan, predicted that the meeting would last for several hours. Because we are Japan's largest supplier of military weapons platforms, I hope to see a very supportive Biden administration discuss how we can find methods to strengthen our military interoperability and the effectiveness of the military procurement process. That's what we can say. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so that this channel can continue to exist. Thank you for following and I hope it's useful.